America's rise to global superpower status did not happen overnight. It emerged through geography, ambition, conflict, innovation, and calculated decisions over several transformative centuries worldwide. Vast natural resources, protected oceans, and fertile land gave the young nation economic security, population growth, and freedom to develop without constant foreign invasions threats. The American Revolution created a powerful national identity built on independence, self-governance, and resistance to empire, shaping future policies and inspiring confidence among citizens. A flexible constitution allowed political stability while adapting to change, enabling long-term planning, peaceful power transitions, and trust in institutions rarely seen historically elsewhere. Westward expansion expanded markets and resources, encouraging railroads, agriculture, and industry, while reinforcing belief in destiny and America's growing continental influence across the vast territory. Immigration supplied labor, ideas, and ambition, fueling factories, farms, and cities, while diverse cultures strengthened innovation and economic resilience nationwide during the 19th century period. Early emphasis on education, literacy, and entrepreneurship helped create a skilled workforce capable of adopting new technologies and improving productivity rapidly across expanding regional economies. Neutrality during many European conflicts allowed America to trade widely, accumulate capital, and avoid destruction, strengthening its economy while rivals weakened from prolonged warfare overseas. By the early 19th century, the United States had consolidated territory, institutions, and confidence, laying foundations for eventual international influence beyond its continental borders later. These combined factors prepared America for industrial growth and future global engagement, setting the stage for transformation into a true superpower status during modern history. The Industrial Revolution accelerated American power by boosting manufacturing, transportation, and technology, turning the nation into a major economic force on the world stage rapidly. Railroads connected coasts and cities, enabling mass production, national markets, and faster movement of goods, people, and military resources across an expanding continental economy efficiently. The Civil War, though devastating, strengthened federal authority, modernized industry, and confirmed national unity, ending internal challenges to central power that once limited national growth. Post-war industrial expansion created powerful corporations, financial institutions, and infrastructure, placing America among the world's leading industrial nations by the late 19th century firmly. Abundant steel, oil, and electricity supported innovation, while inventors like Edison symbolized a culture that celebrated progress and practical solutions through science, engineering, and enterprise. America's growing economy demanded overseas markets, encouraging trade expansion and diplomatic engagement beyond traditional isolationist attitudes, as industrial output surged rapidly nationwide during this era. Victory in the Spanish-American War marked a turning point, giving the United States territories and strategic presence beyond its continent for the first time. World War I transformed America into a global creditor, supplying allies with weapons, food, and loans, while emerging economically strengthened from the European conflict's aftermath. By war's end, the United States possessed unmatched industrial capacity and financial influence compared to devastated European powers struggling to rebuild their economies and societies. These developments positioned America for leadership in global affairs, setting foundations for 20th century dominance that would expand dramatically during future worldwide conflicts and alliances. World War II became the defining moment that transformed America from a powerful nation into a true global superpower with unmatched military, economic, and political influence. While Europe and Asia suffered massive destruction, the United States mainland remained untouched, allowing factories to expand production without interruption or infrastructure collapse during wartime. American industry became the arsenal of democracy, producing weapons, vehicles, ships, and supplies at levels no other nation could match or sustain effectively. Millions of workers, including women and minorities, entered factories, increasing productivity and reshaping social structures while strengthening national unity and wartime commitment across society. The war effort accelerated technological breakthroughs including radar, aviation, nuclear energy, and logistics systems that would later define American military and economic dominance. Victory placed the United States at the center of global decision-making, giving it authority to help design the post-war international political and economic order. The creation of the United Nations reflected America's leadership role, promoting collective security while hosting the organization and shaping its founding principles. Possession of nuclear weapons temporarily gave America unmatched destructive power, reinforcing its strategic superiority and influence over global security calculations worldwide. Massive wartime savings and industrial capacity positioned America for economic expansion, while other nations focused on rebuilding shattered cities, industries, and populations. By 1945, the United States stood as one of two dominant global powers, marking the official beginning of its superpower era. After World War II, America entered the Cold War, a prolonged struggle against Soviet communism that shaped its foreign policy for decades worldwide. The United States adopted containment, aiming to stop the spread of communism through alliances, economic aid, and military presence across strategic global regions. The Marshall Plan rebuilt Western Europe, strengthening economies, stabilizing democracies, and securing loyal allies while demonstrating America's economic power and leadership vision. Military alliances like NATO formalized American commitments abroad, extending security guarantees and embedding the United States deeply within global defense structures permanently. The arms race drove innovation in missiles, satellites, and defense systems, reinforcing America's technological edge while maintaining a balance of power with rivals. American culture, media, and consumer products spread worldwide, promoting values of freedom, capitalism, and individual opportunity alongside military and economic influence. Proxy wars in Korea and Vietnam reflected Cold War tensions, showing America's willingness to project power globally to protect strategic interests and allies. Space exploration became symbolic competition, with the moon landing demonstrating technological superiority and inspiring global admiration for American scientific achievement. Despite setbacks, America maintained strong institutions, alliances, and economic growth, preserving its leadership position throughout decades of ideological rivalry. The Cold War solidified America's role as a global leader, shaping international systems that still influence world politics today. The collapse of the Soviet Union ended the Cold War, leaving the United States as the sole global superpower with unmatched influence worldwide today. Clearly, America shaped global institutions, trade systems, and security policies, influencing economics, politics, and culture across nearly every region internationally in the modern post-war world order. Globalization expanded American corporations, technology, and finance worldwide, making the dollar dominant and integrating markets under American-led economic frameworks during late 20th century decades. Military superiority allowed rapid global response, with bases, fleets, and alliances, ensuring strategic reach across continents and oceans simultaneously during Cold War security operations worldwide. American leadership promoted democracy and free markets. Though critics argued interventions sometimes prioritized power over local stability and sovereignty within developing nations facing conflict pressures. Technological innovation from Silicon Valley transformed communication, defense, and commerce, reinforcing America's central role in the digital age through platforms, networks, software dominance, and standards. Cultural influence through movies, music, and media shaped global perceptions, spreading American ideals, lifestyles, and aspirations worldwide, especially among youth populations across urban societies everywhere. Economic crises tested American leadership, yet institutions adapted, maintaining confidence in markets and preserving international financial stability during repeated recessions, banking failures, and recovery cycles. Despite rising competitors, America retained advantages in innovation, alliances, and military coordination, unmatched by any single rival across major strategic domains globally today and historically. The post-Cold War era confirmed American dominance while revealing responsibilities and limits that would define future leadership challenges in an increasingly complex, interconnected world. Entering the 21st century, America faced new challenges that tested its superpower status in an evolving international system shaped by technology, multipolarity, terrorism, instability. Terrorist attacks shifted security priorities, leading to long wars that strained resources, alliances, and public trust domestically and abroad, while reshaping intelligence, surveillance, and policy. Economic competition from China introduced a new rivalry, combining trade, technology, and military power unlike previous American challenges experienced during earlier Cold War decades before. America responded by strengthening alliances, investing in innovation, and redefining strategy to maintain influence without direct confrontation across economic, technological, diplomatic, military, and cultural arenas. Soft power became increasingly important, as education, diplomacy, and values shaped global opinion alongside traditional hard power tools used to influence allies, partners, rivals worldwide. Internal divisions and economic inequality challenged national cohesion, reminding leaders that domestic strength underpins global leadership. Legitimacy, credibility, stability, resilience, prosperity, unity, confidence, governance, trust. America's future superpower role depends on adaptability, cooperation, and renewing institutions to meet 21st century demands across security, climate, economy, technology, health, and society. Leadership now requires balancing competition and collaboration, guiding global solutions rather than unilateral dominance alone through partnerships, norms, rules, diplomacy, innovation, compromise, restraint, trust, legitimacy. America remains influential, though its power increasingly relies on shared leadership in a complex, interconnected world shaped by challenges, collective action, mutual interests, and responsibility. How America navigates these realities will determine whether it sustains its superpower status in the decades ahead, amid rapid change, uncertainty, competition, cooperation, opportunity, risk. America's journey to global superpower status reflects ambition, resilience, innovation, and strategic choices that reshaped world politics, economics, security, and culture across generations' worldwide history. Its power was never guaranteed, but built through adaptation, learning from failures, and leveraging strengths, while navigating changing global realities with patience, strategy, vision, leadership. Economic strength, military capability, technological leadership, and institutional stability together formed the foundation of American influence beyond borders, across regions, alliances, markets, cultures, systems worldwide. Cultural appeal, alliances, and shared values amplified American reach, making leadership persuasive, not only enforced by power alone through trust, cooperation, legitimacy, credibility, attraction, influence. Challenges and criticism revealed limits, reminding leaders that credibility depends on consistency, accountability, and respect for international norms, cooperation, diplomacy, restraint, partnership, stability, fairness, trust. In a multipolar era, American leadership increasingly requires collaboration, innovation, and moral authority rather than dominance through force alone. Globally, today, sustainably, responsibly, inclusively, collectively. Future influence will depend on domestic renewal, investing in people, institutions, infrastructure, and unity at home to strengthen democracy, economy, security, resilience, opportunity, cohesion, trust. America's story shows power lasts longest when aligned with opportunity, fairness, and hope for others across nations. Society's generations globally shared future prosperity, peace, dignity. Understanding this history helps audiences grasp how global leadership is earned, maintained, and sometimes challenged through choices, values, strategy, sacrifice, cooperation, resilience, accountability, adaptation, vision. The American superpower narrative remains unfinished, shaped daily by decisions citizens, leaders, and allies make together across borders, institutions, generations, crises, opportunities, responsibilities, commitments, futures. Reflecting on this journey encourages critical thinking about power, responsibility, and the role nations play in shared destiny globally, ethically, sustainably, cooperatively, peacefully, inclusively forward. If you enjoyed this series, subscribe for more insightful scripts exploring history, power, and global stories, shaping our world. Future perspectives, analysis, education updates, weekly.